episode 4. So let's just get right into it. So we go right back into the session with the doctor and Ashley in Hollywood. And, she's telling the doctor that she wishes she can get in her body and feel how she feels. And she loves him, Hollywood, so much that, she feels like she's lost some of her feelings for him. And the doctor asks her if she is angry with herself because she stayed. And she says that's exactly what she feels. And Doc says that she needs to give her credit for making the choice that was right for her at that moment. And she needs to be able to forgive herself. And can she forgive herself? So that's something that she's pondering. And Hollywood says, he feels so much guilt for what he put her through and the pain she's feeling. But, he's been ready now to move on for the past 2 years, which he keeps reiterating. So now we move on to the date with Jazzy and Vince. He says that he felt really awkward about the tension that was there when they left for the date, and he knew that Tamika was upset, but he was happy about her reaction. And that is very toxic. Like, you saw your girl there and ready to cry, and that to me was such an awkward and uncomfortable moment, but you got joy from that because it showed that she cared. Bruh, that's sad. She clearly cares. Like, don't be pathetic. So Jazzy asks what he's lacking in the relationship, and he says he just needs her trust. That whole date just seemed like it was a therapy session for me. She was his therapist. So it was really lackluster. Mike just is talking about his son. His son is 12. He apparently stayed there for the summer, and he wants his son to move there full time when he starts high school. And he asked Shay what she felt about him being there and the experience, and she's like tiptoeing around the fact that she wasn't very comfortable with him being there because it changed their lifestyle, everything they were doing. There was a third person, and I guess kids don't really sit well in their lifestyle. And I'm like, are you lucky he's a teenager and he's not 3 years old? But anyway, she's not being honest with him about the fact that she's not comfortable with the son being there long term. So Hollywood goes on a Jenga date with a girl named Passionate. And she comes and she's just this tall drink of water. And he's like, you're beautiful and you're tall. And she asks him if that was a problem for him, which is interesting. He said that when he first saw her, his heart skipped a beat. I'm like, oh, okay. But he says, yeah, he likes climbing up trees. This man has a way with words that is just a little uncouth. And so they're on the date and they playing for whoever wins gets to pick the next date, which was his suggestion. So I'm thinking he wants to go on another date with her. She says that, in playing the game of Jenga, it's about making it hard for him. And he's like, you like it hard? Tacky. Brother is tacky. But anyway, that seemed to be a nice, playful, flirtatious interaction. But yeah, tacky. So anyway, Mike and Shay are at the crib chilling, and here comes Whitney knocking on the door for their date. Shay is not comfortable with what Mike is wearing because he's wearing one of them. I have one actually, but a black netted hoodie, which is see-through, so you can see all his muscles through the shirt. And she's like, nah, you need to go change. But he ain't changing. Actually, when Whitney came through the door, they were matching. Whitney is gorgeous. I'm telling you, they brought out some real attractive people for these dates, like real good looking matches and some real substance too. So sorry. So he invites her in to introduce her to Shay, which is really awkward and uncomfortable. But then they leave. She seemed like such a good match for him. Her speed of moving forward in relationships, her idea of not having her own kid but welcoming your partner's kid into your partner's kid into the relationship, and she just seemed like such an open person, and that differed so much from what Shay wants to what she wants. Now, you don't know how it's going to move forward as it gets deeper, but yeah, it was really interesting to see that she was more aligned with the things that he needed. He also talked about how much he really loves Shay, which is, he seems very reserved. So when he expresses himself, it just comes out so sweetly. But yeah, he clearly was tempted by Whitney and what she was offering. The girl was bad. Like, she was definitely gorgeous. So I thought they were a great match, and he loved that date. And tried not to love it too much, because it's awkward. Awkward as hell. So Vince and Tamika have a solo session with Dr. LaBeach. I hope it is Dr. LaBeach, right? Don't remember wrong. And Vince feels like Vince is in a completely different relationship than Tamika. It's like, yo, I share everything with her. She's looking like, she gives all the eyes. It's like she shows everything through her expression and has difficulty speaking her feelings. And it gets a little tiring to watch after a while. So, Doc is asking Tamika what she really feels, and she has this way of starting to say something and then just saying, never mind. And she says that her main issue with him is that he blames her for the things that he did in the beginning of the relationship. And he basically was saying that it's her fault that she let him slide. We as women love to let these men slide when they're being wishy-washy or they're not being concrete with things. He says that he never told her that, but he feels like she was entertaining the situation that he claims was letting fizzle out, and that, there's two sides to a story and men never win. But the problem is the girl came with proof. She had text messages, she had itineraries, pictures, like, what's up? Stupid. And but the doctor tells Tamika that she can't do a false shutdown because it's not genuine with her feelings. And if she can't figure out how she's feeling, she needs to ask for time to figure that out, but she needs to ask for what she wants. And she says she doesn't like to do that because she doesn't want to seem like she's nagging, but the doctor's like, well, is it working, sweetie? No, it's not. So let's try something else. Take what's being offered to you. Thank God for Dr. Nicole. So the guys gather, they're playing a poker game, and they talk about their dates. And, all of the guys seem to really like their dates. And Whitney talks about the fact that he loves Shay, but he's very much tempted by, did I say Whitney? Mike talks about the fact that he loves Shay, and he's very tempted by Whitney and all the bang, bang, bang that she comes with. Then Hollywood tells the guys that he asked them if they've experienced all the things that they wanted to experience before, settling down. And they have, but he hasn't. He really wants to have a threesome. And, Ashley isn't all the way with it. Like, we could definitely have a threesome. I'll have to straighten one side of my hair, the other side curly. I'm like, yes, girl, you better give him the characters. And he says that, he wants to have one without her. And he says the other thing he wanted to do, and he was like, he felt shameful for bringing it up, but he wanted to have sex with a little person and spin him around. I'll tell you, this guy is so inappropriate, but that was funny. That was really funny. And what's his name? Vince said that every guy thinks about that. And Mike's like, I haven't. I was like, is that true? Guys, please comment down below and tell me if you've ever thought about having sex with a little person so you can flip them around and stuff. So, back to group, and everyone's talking about their dates and how good it was, what was the great things, and all the good experience they had. And Hollywood says that, you know, his attitude is completely changed. He's cool with the dates. He wants Ashley to go on as many dates as possible to the point where she's tired, she's fed up, and she's ready to move forward with him. So they're progressing. It seems to be working for them. Doc tells Tamika and Vince, because they seem to be real uptight about their dates and what the other person's thinking, that, you know, they need to give each other room to go on the date and really experience this to actually help them progress forward in their relationships. They need to like loosen the belt a tad. So Mike goes in on his date with a little bit too much information about her body and how he made him feel and whatnot, but he's honest. And he tells them that he exchanged numbers and that they were texting, which for, but you know, and Doc asks what was his purpose within this, and he says he's trying to just really experience the process. And Shay was really angered by it, and she feels like he crossed boundaries. And she feels like, you know, he's the love of her life, so she's scared that she would lose him. But, you know, he feels the same way about her, even though I don't feel like from the outside it's a good idea. But, you know, people are in love. But, you know, Dr. Nicole says that if Mike cannot meet her where she needs him to be, that somebody else will, but she has to honor herself first. That's it right there. So Shay says that she loves the aspect of the date, which was a fresh start. There's no hurt there. You get to go in with a clean slate. And Ashley's in the back pointing at Hollywood, and he's like, yo, I feel the same way. And he's like, yo, we are the same person. I've been saying that before. The two of them are the same person, do the same thing. But his thing is, you know, he actually feels bad about the hurt that he caused Ashley, but he feels like he wants to like go and start fresh with somebody that he hasn't damaged. But then you're treating your partner kind of like trash and throwing them away, just so you don't have to deal with the pain that you've caused that person. Now, Shay, she don't feel sorry at all. But Doc says that you have to figure out how to correct and create something new. You know, you got to pivot, how to clean it up, and how do we do better? Instead of just, you know, it's kind of immature to just, you know, want to run away and start again and, you know, try and forget where you fell short. So then Vince is crying about, at first I was like, does he have allergies or not? Oh no, he's actually crying. But he's crying because Tamika doesn't call him daddy anymore. Now maybe I'm oversimplifying this, but yeah, I was like, okay. She don't call him those baby names and stuff. Yeah, so she said that, you know, she's sorry that she focuses a lot more on her pain and not on how things affect him. So now Ashley says that she passes on the second date with the cutie from last week. So does Hollywood with the tree. And Tamika passes. Vince acts like he's not going to pass, and then he passes. And next week we're going to find out if Mike and Shay pass. But, you know, everyone's looking at him like you best pass on the texting chick real quick. And I think he's going to do it because he doesn't want to hurt Shay. But honestly, I think for the process, I think he's at the point where he might slip up. So maybe he shouldn't go on a date with her. I don't know. Yeah, so anyway, next week is very interesting. We're seeing Shay ask him, or tell him, rather, that, you know, she's not comfortable with having a child living with them. And he's like, well, then that would be the end of their relationship. It's a deal breaker for both of them. So it's very interesting and why they're at their point, because I'm sure she knew at the beginning of their relationship that that's what he would want to do. So it's interesting. So thank you guys for joining me. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you Sunday for Real Housewives of Potomac. All right? Bye.